Hey everyone, it's 10 Types, and Black Bolt and White Flare recently came out on Pokemon TCG Live and in the Pokemon TCG, and today we're taking a look at tournament data here, which is from the Limitless TCG website, though the data is actually a little bit limited here, unfortunately, because the set is so new, or the two sets are so new. Also, random side note, I don't know if it's a random side note, but it's something that is meaningful. Live is, not working 100%, so on top of the fact that there isn't that much data here, also take this with a little bit of grain of salt, because there are some issues with live, which is where these tournaments are played on for the most part, or maybe completely. I'm not sure. I don't know what these 18 tournaments are. But these are tournaments with the two new sets, Black Bolt and White Flare, which contain a bunch of really cool cards here. I'm just going to take a look at the most played decks and talk about what's changed and yeah, that stuff with them. But let's just hop right into things. Also, make sure you leave a like if you want to see more, and subscribe as well. But the first deck here is Goldeno EX, which is, I said it was probably the most improved deck with a new set, and it was already pretty good before this. But Goldeno EX now has the ability, or has the ability, coin bonus, draw one, but if it's in the active, draw two. Now we have the new tool card here, or I guess it's a reprint. A lot of these cards are reprints, but it's not a reprint of a card that was in standard. But that is Air Balloon, or in standard previously, well, this is being printed, if that makes sense. It was here in Sword and Shield, but that's, a bunch of years ago. So anyways, Air Balloon here is back, and it reduces retreat cost by 2, and Goldeno EX has a 2 retreat cost. So does the new card Genesect EX here, which is a Pokemon that searches for 2 metal evolutions once every turn. You're not getting that many. I mean, you only play 4 Goldenos, so you can get 2 turns out of it if you want to use it every turn, which doesn't make that much sense. I mean, it's fine. Good to get Goldenos into play, but you're not using it every turn, but it still is very nice because you can search off a nest ball. So now you don't need to play cards like Ultra Ball or Team Evolution or something to find your Goldengos. You can just find them directly with the Genesect, directly off of nest ball, a very, very good card. And also, Air Balloon specifically is good because it helps Genesect EX retreat, but more so because it helps Goldeno EX retreat. And this allows you to draw extra cards because you can be in the active more. You can have, instead of one Goldeno in the active return, you can have 2. So you're drawing extra cards pretty consistently, unlike Switch, which allows you to draw 1 extra card, which is okay, but I mean, that's just 1 card, which again is fine. It's, extra card it is cool, but it's nothing crazy. And then we also see Tool Scrapper, another new item card here, or another new card, which is an item because Air Balloon isn't an item anymore. But Tool Scrapper here discards 2 tools attached to Pokemon in play, yours or your opponent's, presumably your opponent's. So that's pretty good here. Tool Scrapper, definitely the best card from White Flare, in my opinion. And Air Balloon, definitely the best card from Black Bolt, in my opinion. I don't think that's controversial or anything, but these 2 cards are very good. I do believe Air Balloon is better than Tool Scrapper. Tool Scrapper is a disruptive card that's kind of countery. Air Balloon is obviously something that helps you out. It's replacing Rescue Board. Rescue Board was very good. Tool Scrapper is kind of replacing Jamming Tower. I'm just taking a look at the list to see if people are still playing Jamming Tower, but I haven't really looked at them much at all. This is kind of my first reaction here. I of course have some idea, but Tool Scrapper and Air Balloon are both I'd say pseudo staples, as in every deck. The staples are Nest Ball, Ultra Ball, Boss. I would say, no, I mean, they're not in every deck. Not all those are in this deck, though. So Air Balloon and Tool Scrap we played a lot. And of course, Rescue Board was played a lot. And Air Balloon is just objectively better, more or less. So definitely, these are good cards that aren't super exciting, but are pretty good. And also, this list doesn't play anything crazy. I will say Genesect here is actually pretty interesting, turning off Ace Back, or stopping your opponent from playing Ace Backs if it has a tool attached, which is easier to do now that you are playing more Air Balloons, which, is nice. And Air Balloon is not an issue putting it into the deck. And now you don't need an extra engine, really, that you have, more draw from your Goldenos, which is really nice. So I think the deck flows smoother. We see actually some interesting tech cards. Picnic Basket for healing for spread decks, and Ogre Pawn for certain matchups here as well. So overall, nothing too crazy with it, but it is more consistent slash strong. So really, really nice there. And Goldeno, I think, is a pretty cool deck. Not when I play that much, but pretty cool. Next deck here is Marnie's Grimstar EX with, of course, Frostlass and Monkey Dory. I don't know what it's called. Grimstone Frostlass. I guess it does more than Monkey Dory. I don't know. I feel like Monkey Dory is more important. But anyways, you have that. What is this deck order? Anyways, what's more Grim here? But we got nothing too crazy going on here. We have an Air Balloon, which I don't think really matters between Air Balloon and rescue board. Kind of matters for Mario's Grimstar EX, which like could matter, I guess, but nothing too crazy going on with this deck really at all, to be honest. But yeah, we see Shaman as well. I don't think Shaman's that good. Comment down below, what your thoughts are on Shaman. It's definitely a Pokemon that I see played a lot, and I feel like it doesn't help against too many things. It helps against certain spread Pokemon, which are played in the game a little bit, but I don't know. I feel like I don't know if niche is quite the right word, but I feel like it's okay. Also, it like is kind of a liability in the deck because it is taking damage as well. Obviously, it is protecting you. But anyways, we see Shaman, we see Badoo, obviously good for disruption. I don't know. There's not too much to break down here that hasn't been said already. Marnie's is a good deck that is able to power itself up. It's a relatively straightforward deck that does good damage, not insane damage, and has healing as well. I guess it has healing, but you're also damaging yourself. So those kind of counter each other. But you have, the Spike in the Stadium as well, Spike the Gym, the Stadium, which is a card that allows you to, search Pokemon easier than, or like about as easily as other cards, but you can use it multiple turns if your opponent doesn't have a bump. So that's really nice here. But yeah, nothing too crazy, not really anything new going on with the deck, but still a good deck nonetheless. Then we have Raging Bull Ogerpon, which I think is in a very good spot in the metagame right now. Then we see Chien Pao, which I think is being played a bit more in the deck. Two bump stadiums, which is cool, I guess. And no new cards actually here. Yeah, I'm not missing anything. Is Judge? No, that was Destined Rivals, which isn't like a new regulation rec anyways, but we have, I don't know, there's not really anything to say here. No like knocked owls though, I guess. So that's like a little different. Sometimes you'll see that. We got Iron Leaves for those grass weak Pokemon, notably Marnies, but certainly others as well. And then Double Mew EX for some extra draw and like different things you could do with that. So that's like kind of cool. And you have, I don't know, single prize Raging Bolt. There's not that much to say with this deck, to be honest, but yeah, it's Raging Bolt, still good. We see like a bunch of Crispins as well, to be able to attack every turn, and of course you have the Ogre Pawns as well, so you can get energies on your board despite getting less with Crispin. Not that Crispin's like bad, but it's not Sadas. But anyways, yeah, deck's still pretty good. Nothing crazy there again. Some of these decks will be pretty different. Some will not be really different at all, though. Oh, this isn't loading so well. We got Dragapult up here next. We got some different builds. Normally I group builds together, but today I'm not. We got Dragapult. Yeah, this is actually pretty similar. This is like shockingly similar in my opinion. If you know me, I'm a bit of a Neo Upper Energy hater and also a Jamming Tower hater. Those kind of go together. I mean, Neo Upper Energy is like pretty good in Dragapult, obviously. It pays for your attack cost and pays for. I personally like Arvin in the deck with Theme Evolution and Sparkling Crystal. I feel like it works pretty well. But there is ways to remove tools. There are ways to remove special energy as well, but they're not played as much. But then you have Jamming Tower as well, so we do still see that in the deck because you don't play Arvin to search out Tool Scrapper. And it also is a Stadium Bump. Jamming Tower is a 2-for-1 there, kind of like if you're familiar with Field Blower or also more recently Lost Vacuum, though that doesn't get rid of two tools, but Jamming Tower shuts down tools, though it does not remove them from your opponent's board. So if they have the bump, then Tool Scrapper would be stronger there. But then you have it's a Stadium Bump, so it's like kind of saving spots / it's more versatile. We do see a new card here, which is Hilda. Hilda's a really good card, and actually, I said you can't search out Neo Upper Energy, or I said you could search out Sparkling Crystal, but here you can't. You can only search out Neo Upper Energy with Hilda, which searches for an evolution and an energy. So I actually really like it in Dragapult. Hilda plus Neo Upper Energy, that package is kind of cool. Being able to go out and find the energy easier, and of course your luminous energies as well. You got a lot of special energies here, more special energies than basic energies, and you can find them easier. Again, I'm not a huge fan of Monkey Dorian Dragapult. I feel like you can struggle. You're kind of having to rely on Badoo and Dusclops and stuff like that in the early game. I mean, Dusclops isn't necessarily an early game. It's good for lots of different things, but can also like kind of apply pressure in some ways as well. But you're relying on, this is a very defensive Dragapult list where you have like Turos, you have a bunch of boss. I mean, pretty supporter heavy here. A bunch of counter catchers as well, and you got like Maractus, you got Munkidors, you got two Munkidors, which you don't always see in Index. I'm not actually sure what are the average counts here. I'm gonna check on that, but you have it's like I think it's usually one. Is it? It's usually, yes, it's around 1, so we see that a bit higher. There are different builds. Wait, this is Dragapult. So with the regular build or the like no build, then they're probably playing like 1.5. So some are certainly playing 2, but it is still more defensive. And again, like double Turos. And so you do see higher counts of defensive cards, which is cool to see. I think defensive cards are kind of fun in the game. I don't know if there's too much, but I do like this build here. Again, I do like Arven, but there's a lot of Badoo. Things can go badly there if you're relying on like Rare Candy or something. If you want to do that, or Sparkly Crystal can get bumped. So this is like I guess a safer build. I'm not sure, but it is definitely pretty cool here. Nothing super crazy, but this build has, I mean, Kilda is a nice little addition there. There's a Gardevoir. We'll talk about two different Gardevoir builds. What? Okay. This is not what I was expecting. I was not expecting to see Jellicent. We're going to talk about Gardevoir Jellicent later. So I'm actually not going to talk about Jellicent here. Actually, no, I will. I'll just talk about, sure, I'll talk about it, I guess. I imagine is the next build also playing it. Um, yeah, no, this one's not. So whatever. Yeah, Gardevoir. I'll talk about this first one here though. So I mean, Gardevoir EX obviously accelerate the energy. You got Drifloon, Screamtail, Munkidori's, and we see Cleffa in this list. We don't see Badoo though, which is really interesting, obviously. So if we look at Gardevoir decks now, we can see that they are playing. Badoo you certainly will see. Oh, okay, you don't see it like as much now. It's been, played less in the deck, more reliant on Cleffa. It was played like a lot in the deck. It's reducing now, but it does not mean Badoo's bad. I mean, it kind of does. It does mean Badoo's bad, but it doesn't mean the idea of Badoo is bad because you now have the do Frillish, which for one psychic here does 20 in item locks. On top of that, you also have the new Jellicent EX here, which is a better attacker than, well, I don't know if it's a better attacker than Badoo. Badoo's just an attacker, but it has its ability here. If it's in the active, it item locks and tool locks as well. Tool lock is like cool. It's not hugely meaningful that often, but it is nice. Another reason also why like something like Sparkling Crystal is sketchy. Also something like Air Balloon and Goldeno, you cannot struggle with that at times, but this is a really nice ability here. We've seen abilities like this and attacks like this, obviously, with something like Badoo. And they're like okay, but usually they're on weaker Pokemon. And this is kind of weak, I guess. It does 80 for 2 and 160 for 4, which is kind of terrible, to be honest, except in Gardevoir. We can power it up, and it's like decently tanky. 270 isn't absurd, but it's like solid, and then you have your Munkidori's supporting it. So it's really nice here. Just being able to go ahead and have a really tanky Pokemon here. And we'll take a look at it again, I guess. I mean, we got Gardevoir with more Jellicents. Was not expecting to see it here because this is Gardevoir without Jellicent. But anyways, yeah, you get Gardevoir. Oh, you have the TM evolutions as well. Turn 1, you can use. So you have different options, but Frillish and Jellicent are really nice in the deck. And you do have Bravery Charm. I will say with Tool Scrapper, Bravery Charm on specifically Drifloon feels a little sketchier. Where you're, going to functionally negative HP without Bravery Charm, which is bad, because you're knocked out if they Tool Scrapper. And I do think Tool Scrapper, I think it's, looking at the list so far, I think it is a little underplayed. I think it's, quite good. But still, Drifloon and Screamtail and stuff like that, it's still strong cards. So I would say still, no, though, do watch out for it. Obviously, Tool Scrapper could be really bad if it's not played that much. Don't worry about it. It's a tech card, so, or like in that type of role. So if you're, I would say don't play it just because of Tool Scrapper, unless everyone's playing it all the time in multiple accounts in lots of decks. But anyways, did want to mention that specifically with the regular Gardevoir deck, we are not using Jellicent. We do have other attacking options. You attack with Gardevoir EX itself, things like that. I'll talk about Gardevoir Jellicent now. It's below Ethan's, but that's fine. So we got more Jellicents here. We see no Drifloon here, no Bravery Charms. We see 2 Team Devolutions. Okay, that's kind of interesting here. Team Devolution, better with a more disruptive or I guess slower style deck, where you're able to buy the turns for a TM Devolution, which is an attack that doesn't do damage but can take knockouts. So it's an interesting attack that requires some setup as well. We also see Klefki. We got TM Evolution still here, of course, pretty nice. You have the Jellicent, you have Klefki, you have Frillish, you have Munkidori's. It's nothing super different here. Oh, Lilith Clefairy EX as well. Very good with Jellicent in his 160 as a Psychic Pokemon. Really good against Dragapult EX, which I imagine is still the most played deck. Is it not the most played deck? No, it's a bit behind Goldeno. Again, the counts, it's pretty early on, so it's quite close, realistically. And yeah, I think it's all the Dragapult decks are grouped under it. But anyways, Gardevoir is still obviously nice with Jellicent. You do have other options, but some lists are leaning more into it because it is a Pokemon that is able to synergize really well with the Gardevoir plus the Munkidori package, and is a relatively easy Pokemon to attack with. It's not like super easy. You do need 4 energies on it, but it's not. It's pretty doable as well. You just need them in the discard. You can search them out. It's not that bad. So ultimately, Jellicent's just like really solid with Gardevoir. Not insane. I mean, not everyone's playing it, but it is nice. Then we do have Ethan's, which I did skip over here. Ethan's Typhlosion is, okay, this one playing Dracloak. We got Victini. I don't know why it's the basic in the stage 2 than the stage 1. But yeah, we see Picnic Basket here for like defensive stuff. Gravity Mountain for hitting certain numbers. And we also see Brave Bangle. Brave Bangle is super good for this deck. And it's really good because it increases damage done by 30 if you're a non-rule box Pokemon hitting an EX. And obviously, most of the top decks are EXs. Most of them play with Pokemon that aren't EXs, so it's not like always useful. But I guess against those, it's not really an issue anyway. So yeah, you got Ethan's. I will say I still feel like the deck's kind of sketchy that you like run out of Pokemon. But anyways, Ethan's still a very, very solid deck, which can do good damage. I still don't think it's in the top tier. But Brave Bangle is a nice little addition to it. It's definitely a decent deck here. Definitely being a single Pfizer does have issues here, but it's not like it has solid damage. Comparing it to 2 prizes, it's not bad. So definitely a really cool deck here. Obviously, one of the Destined Rivals decks, there's a bunch of them that are pretty good. Ethan's is, the second most played of them. I do think it is pretty good here. And yeah, still good. But again, it is still early days. Then we have Dragapult Charizard. I really don't know how much there'll be to say about this one. Oh, okay. Not all the cards are here. So yeah, it's Dragapult, it's Charizard, you got Shiyu, we got Munkidori, we got the Luminous energies and the Fire energies, and yeah, Dragapult, that's a new card, and we got Arven and it's stuff. Nothing crazy to say here, but Dragapult's still good. Charizard still is good. They're very good Pokemon in their own right. Dracloak is good as an engine as well, helping Dragapult out quite a bit. So ultimately, the deck's still good. Nothing too crazy to say, but still pretty good. And playing a new card. Then we got Charizard Pidgeot here. Charizard Pidgeot, I can't imagine there's not much to say about either. We see Mist Energy here. We do see Hilda. Hilda's pretty cool here. Notably, Hilda is cool because you can search out Hilda with Pidgeot EX. Pidgeot EX can obviously get anything. Hilda can get 2 things though. So you use Pidgeot to kind of amplify with Hilda to kind of amplify the power of that when you need certain specific things. Like how often do you need an energy plus an evolution? Sometimes, it's useful. It's not like all the time. And also there are times when Hilda just by itself is solid. You don't need energies all that often. I mean, you need it for like Munkidori if you're playing that. Here, then you have like Luminous and the Darkness. So, it's pretty solid there. And then the Mist Energy as well. So, searching out the Mist Energy specifically, you can do it with Pidgeot. I mean, ultimately, Hilda doesn't allow you to really search out that many extra things all that often. But it's pretty solid. It's a pretty nice card within the deck, just getting some extra stuff from time to time. But obviously, you already have Pidgeot at the point at which you're using Hilda if you're searching it off of Pidgeot. If you don't have it, that can be really nice. But again, it is like, I guess, kind of niche, but still pretty good here. Then we have Dragapult with Dusknoir. Dragapult Dusknoir here being a deck playing. We see on Fair Stamp we don't see Neo Upper Energy, but we do still see Hilda searching out Luminous Energy for. We don't actually see the Munkidori here, but Luminous is still good. I will say are some special energy counters. I think they might start seeing play, or even just like any energy counters, like Crushing Hammer, Enhanced Hammer, even that like Ace spec that's like kind of terrible in Standard, but super broken and expanded. That I think could be all right in Standard. The Megaton Blower is an interesting option here. Then we do see Tool Scrapper. We see EXP share as well to help out with the energy situation. We got defensive stuff like Badoon Maractus. Of course, if you're playing defensively, you still have the Dusknoirs to apply pressure to your opponent's Pokemon by knocking stuff out. I mean, Dusknoir just takes knockouts, which is really good for dealing with stuff. It's a threat removal and also taking prizes or setting up knockouts. It does a lot of things. Dusknoir is a really deep card with substantial downside, but obviously substantial upside as well. I mean, it sees a lot of play and it's quite good. And yeah, I mean, again, nothing too crazy with this stack that's going on that's super new, but some fun stuff. Hilda and Air Balloon, and a more, I guess, supporter focused list. I mean, stage 2 decks, a lot of these aren't really playing rare candy. Some are, right? I mean, Marnie's is playing rare candy here, but it's not like all rare candy. You got TM Evo, which is pretty nice. And then we see some other decks. We looked at the top 10. There was a lot of duplicates in the top 10. I think there's only 7 decks because we had 2 Gardevoirs. And the Dragapult's here twice, and then Charizard's here twice. Yeah, so I think we have 7 decks, but then we do have some other cool decks. We have Miraidon Electric and Joltik Box, which I haven't actually really looked at that much. I've seen a little bit. But yeah, so this is a oh okay, this is a Miraidon deck, which is more like traditional Miraidon, I guess, like how it was played when it came out, obviously without Joltik, with electric generators and the electrics accelerating energy in the late game, electric generator for the early game, being like a bit of a turbo deck. We also see the Zero Aura, which I was gonna say new, it's like relatively new, hasn't really seen much play as of yet, but it's pretty cool here. You discard the energy from it for 3 lightning on a basic single prizer, but then you do 210 to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon EX. Obviously, if we look at something like Pikachu EX, which I'm sure will be in Joltik box here as well, it's immune to bench damage, and there's like Ogerpon and stuff like that, which are immune to bench damage, but there are lots of Pokemon that aren't immune to bench damage as well, like BBX, Pheasantipty EX, Squawkabilly EX here, all the 210 HP or certainly less on some of those as well. So you can take a big snipe there situationally, but it is pretty good. Of course, Magneton as well, being nice here, though not as important because you still can get energy out of your discard pile and can also get the energy onto your board from there as well, through different ways. Electric generator, but if that's done, then you have electric as well. But Magneton for that little boost there as well can be quite nice. And we do see, of course, Miraidon EX and Iron Hands EX, two really nice pieces there. Here's your Underdepths Pikachu EX, but then we do see the new Zekrom EX as well. A really cool card here with Voltage Burst for Late Lane Colorless, 130, but it does 50 more for each prize your opponent has taken, and also does 30 to itself. But yeah, you can do really solid damage in the late game here. It's not so good. The rest of the game is like kind of mediocre to bad. But it is still a really nice little tech card here, kind of like Bloodmere Saluna that you could see in a Joltik box here. And Joltik box is not playing electric. I still do think it would be nice for the deck. I feel like I still think the deck has a bad late game with like running out of energies on your board or in your deck. I've ran out of energies in the deck when I play this like a lot of the time. Because you have a lot of energy hungry Pokemon, so I still stand by that with Joltik Box, but I think the next it's all right. And then Electric Box here, the one just lightning energies has an element of risk with the electric generator. I will say you can power up UBX with electric theoretically. Probably taking 2 turns, but maybe not if you have both of them in play. So overall, I think both these decks are pretty cool. Despite the fact that I'm kind of a Joltik Box hater, I don't actually dislike the deck in terms of like, I think it's cool. I think it's fun. I think set attacks are fun. I don't think they're super strong, but I think they are really fun. Obviously, Joltik accelerates like a lot of energy, so I think Joltik is a good card. I think the deck can run into issues, but I think it is still a cool and a good deck. You can also attack with UEX here. I said you could attack with it in the other deck. You can attack with it here too. Easier. You don't have type specific acceleration. And then also, of course, you have Iron Hands. You have Pikachu. You can attack with Pikachu. It's really good, except when it's not, where sometimes it's really bad. But it's a versatile deck with different options. Both these decks are in that role. But yeah, I think both pretty cool decks. I do like Lightning type as well. That is, I guess, my favorite type, though. In terms of the decks, I'm not sure if they're my favorite decks. We do have Flareon here as well. Flareon here, nothing, I was gonna say nothing super crazy. I mean, it's like kind of crazy because there's a lot of moving pieces. You got a bunch of evolutions. We got the Noctowl engine. We got Fan Times. We got Pidgeot. EX here. We got Terrapagos. We got Lily's Clefairy. We got the EVEX to trigger Noctowls easier in Area 0. Lots of cool things. We've got Cyrano as well, so cool things going on in this deck. Not really going to break it down too much here, but it is still a pretty fun deck with different moving pieces that is, pretty decent. Leafeon, a nice counter to some things, and Sylveon as well, and Flareon, quite good, and a counter as well to Goldeno. So, you have different weakness hitting options and solid attacks through across the board. Just a very solid deck here. Nothing too crazy. I feel like it's one of the I was gonna say simpler, not simple, but like safer decks. Then we do have Crustle though. This one caught my eye. I do want to talk about this one here. It didn't load again. So we got Crustle. Okay, this is not the new Crustle. I didn't think it was. I kind of want to see someone play it, but it's not like that good. But we do have Crustle here from what is this deck? This is Crustle with this is actually pretty interesting. So this one's doing some different things. I just wanted to click through, and I'm happy I did. But this Crustle deck is nothing crazy. Crustle, if you're not familiar, Walls EX. It's kind of like Mimikyu or Sylveon. That's a or Aegislash or something. But anyways, it Walls EX is here, so that's cool. And you got Monkey Dory, of course, which is quite nice because you're gonna be hit by other things, right? You have Ogerpon as well as another walling option. You have other stuff. You have tankiness stuff, energy stuff. lots of stuff. You have lots of different things going on that are honestly kind of boring. But yeah, you just wall here. And then this other list actually really caught my eye with Relicanth just now because Relicanth cool capping previous evolutions with the new Dragull here doing 10 for each damage kind of on this Pokemon. You can pair this with Luxurious Cape as well, getting up to 250 HP. Oh, and Spiky Energy. Okay, I might play this deck in the channel. I think I will. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's like I don't know how interesting it'll be, but it looks really fun. You get lots of energy on your Pokemon, and then you'll be able to when you're just hitting them for a good amount, and when you hit into you do damage to them as well. I played with Spike Energy. I played actually a lot testing for my energy only deck, which was horrendous, but I never ended up actually playing that deck. But yeah, you do have this new Dwebble, which is a pretty cool card. So I wanted to take a look at what's going on here. Then we do have I'll take a look at a couple more decks here. Cynthia's I'll take a look at, I guess. Might as well go now. I'll just look at Cynthia's and Wug Trio, I guess. I still think Cynthia's is good. Stand by that. I think Cynthia's Goodbye is good. Cynthia's Garchomp EX is good. Actually, gonna make a video talking about it 'cause it's gonna be even better with the next set. It's like solid now. I think it's like a little underrated, but it's not like absurdly good or anything. But with the next set, it's gonna get some really nice buffs. But anyways, you do have the Cynthia's Spiritomb and Cynthia's Rosary and stuff. Still think this deck's pretty good. Not too much to break down with it here, though. We do see an air balloon, but not a huge change. And then Wug Trio Mill, though, this deck did get a huge change with the new special energy, Ignition Energy. Not too much to break down with this deck, to be honest. You have the attack here for 3 colorless on the stage 1. You flip 3 coins for each heads, mill 3 from your point stack. That's good, I guess, if you can attack with it, but it's kind of hard. Reversal energy is like solid, but then you have Ignition Energy as well, so you have lots more energies. You have Hilda as well, 4 Hildas here actually, to search out the special energies, which I feel like you'll like draw into a bunch. Anyways, you have Sacred Ash as well, which is like not brand new, but relatively new and not really played that much. Oh, I was like, what? It's been played so much. But no, these are it's a reprint again of an older card, so yeah. But anyways, you have it here with Wug Trio because you don't need Super Rod because you don't play any basic energy. So Sacred Ash for covering a bunch of Wug Trios just like kind of fine here. Then you also have a neutralization zone here, allowing you to stall and gravity gemstone, so you got like different disruption things. Tool Scrapper, I guess, is also within that vein. So 0-6 machinations, situational, but nice, especially in open deckless tournaments. And then here you're just able to mill, and you can find your energies a lot easier with Hilda plus the new energy. Specifically, the new energy is like super important. So the deck I think is pretty like solid. I mean, it's not like amazing. You can look at the win rate. Again, win rate isn't everything, but it is the lowest of the win rates we've looked at today, so that's not good. Ultimately, though, I think Wug Trio is like it's an okay deck. I think it's probably honestly it might be as good as Ethan's was last format. Maybe not quite that good. I'm a little lower on Ethan's than others as well. I don't think it's like bad, but I don't think it's top 5. I think it's top 10. But anyways, tell me down below in the comments what your thoughts are on the meta, if you've played lots of different decks or just one deck or haven't really played at all. But I hope you enjoyed. Consider liking and subscribing, hitting the bell, all the good stuff. And as always, like I said, see you in the next video.